The thing that was interesting in the class was every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and
yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah.
He's an expert.
I remember when I was in college, I took a terrorism class, and
is there a such thing?
Yeah, there was.
So there is a lab for that?
There was a class that you.
Do you go to a lab?
No,
you go out a field trip.
We learned the ideology of.
I'm glad you do that.
And so it was the thing that was interesting in the class was every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and
yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah.
He's an expert.
And it was,
what's his name? What put his name on the area? Where does he live?
Saying his name.
Yeah.
You probably get to see him on CNN.
Well, yeah, of course. I love those guys.
But it is that you don't say America with an intensity. You don't say England with an intensity. You don't say the army with an intensity.
Qaeda.
But you say these names because you want that word to carry weight.
All right, guys, so it's another day, which means that the Democrats are crying racism / sexism / some type of bigotry, right? Because something happened to them or somebody said something about them that they didn't like. And today we got to talk about Ilhan Omar, who is doing just that. Now, we haven't talked much about Ilhan Omar and her getting removed from her committee assignment by Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy promised that he would remove I believe 3 Democrats from their committee assignments, Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar. Now, I've talked about Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell a lot. Haven't talked much about Ilhan Omar, who was also removed for making what Kevin McCarthy describes as anti-Semitic comments over the years. Now, Ilhan Omar is upset about being removed, and this was her initial response, in which she claimed that removing her from the Foreign Affairs Committee is actually a threat to national security. Take a look.
In modern American history, the punishment of stripping a member of Congress of their committee assignments has been reserved for only the most egregious wrongdoings. Those convicted or indicted on corruption, those who have engaged in bribery, sexual misconduct, encouraged violence, or other grave charges. Kevin McCarthy's purely partisan move to strip us from our committee is not only a political stunt, but also a blow to the integrity of our democratic institution and threat to our national security. We are thankful to Leader Jeffries and House Democrats, and even some courageous Republicans, for standing with us. If McCarthy wants to denigrate the integrity of the House and its committees, we will always stand up to these efforts.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Ilhan Omar claims that removing her from the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the Africa Subcommittee is a threat to national security. However, that wasn't enough. She didn't go far enough on that. She actually had to expand on that and to now start accusing Kevin McCarthy of being racist and xenophobic for kicking her off the committee, because, of course, this is the card that she would pull, despite the fact that 2 white guys, right, also got kicked off their committees. Take a look.
Specifically on House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, he says you're an anti-Semite. Do you believe he's an Islamophobe?
I certainly do. And, to the anti-Semitism accusations, I certainly care about the Jewish community. I certainly care about my Jewish colleagues. When it was brought to my attention that the things that I've said trafficked tropes, I apologized. That is the kind of person that I am. Now, when it comes to McCarthy, Emmer, and Scalise, they've been accused of anti-Semitism. Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's so many of them that have been accused of anti-Semitism. They haven't apologized. They don't care about the Jewish community, their feelings, or the rise of anti-Semitism they're leading the charge in white supremacy and constantly talk about replacement theory that endangers the lives of the Jewish community here in the U.S. And so for them to smear me, single me out, target me and marginalize my voice really is only about the fact that I am Muslim, I am Black, I'm African, which I'm proud of, and so many people are as well.
Yes, according to Ilhan Omar, she was singled out, right? Singled out, even though she was a part of a group of others, including 2 white guys, who also got the same exact punishment. But Kevin McCarthy is singling her out because she's Muslim, she's Black, and she apparently has, or allegedly has, a vagina, right? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is what they do when they don't have a real response, right? When you don't have a real response, a real defense, you pull the race card, you pull the bigotry card. So let's read here, because she's going to expand on this. In a new statement, Representative Ilhan Omar is now accusing House Speaker Kevin McCarthy of being racist and xenophobic for removing her from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Omar, a member of the Subcommittee on Africa, Global Health, and Global Human Rights, defended her position in a tweet, saying she is the only African-born member. Quote, as the only African born, not being on the Africa Committee is not just an elimination of a unique voice, but an elimination of all the voices that have never been heard on a committee on the continent. Omar wrote. She added, it's racist, xenophobic, and discriminatory. Yeah, so here's the funny part about that. The funny part is that if somebody was to put her on the committee for Africa, she'd also accuse that of being racist, right? If a Republican said, hey, look, you're going to be on the committee, for Africa, they'd be like, well, that's racist too, right? You're singling me out because I'm African woman. You think I just belong on the African committee, right? So you can't win with these people, to be quite honest with you. Omar echoed these remarks during an appearance on Sunday on MSNBC's Yasmin Rosaghian reports. Quote, I think it would be hypocritical for him to remove, the first African-born on subcommittee on Africa on the Foreign Affairs Committee, where I've had the opportunity to not only represent my constituents, but the voice of so many people who have never had a voice on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Omar said. Omar has previously described McCarthy's decision as a political stunt, a blow to the integrity of the democratic institution, and a threat to national security. McCarthy has said he is removing Omar from the position as she has upset many of her colleagues in the past with controversial anti-Israel statements that highlighted anti-Semitic tropes. She once said, quote, it's all about the Benjamin's baby, to explain why McCarthy criticized her for opposing the Jewish country. She also sparked backlash for a remark comparing the U.S. and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban. McCarthy, as Speaker, has the authority to approve committee appointments offered by Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, so if he approved that, right, if he approved her to be on the Africa subcommittee, they still say he's racist, right? You're only putting her up there because she's black and she's from Africa, right? Again, amazing. You can't win with these people. Republican members could offer to vote a vote to keep Omar on the committee, and at least 2 Republicans have expressed support for her to keep her position. Representative Victoria Sparks and Nancy Mace said they oppose removing her from the committee. Yeah, so we all know about Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell as well. Again, the meltdowns here from the Democrats over the pendulum swinging the other way in politics is absolutely hilarious, right? These same people that boohoo, whining, and crying about this, again, they supported the Democrats removing Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar from their committee assignments for petty reasons, right? When Marjorie Taylor Greene's case, they removed her for quite literally liking a comment on Facebook, right? Before she was even in Congress. So they removed her for something that she did when she wasn't even in Congress. And they want to get pissed off and mad now that Republicans are doing it back to them. It's just amazing how that works. Right? It really is. Democrats will set precedents in politics and then get mad when the opponents take advantage of it. Now Ilhan Omar wants to cry bigotry, racism, xenophobia. She might as well go and throw sexism in there. Go and throw all of it in there, right? Right? Throw all of it in there. Okay? She wants to cry bigotry because she's getting a taste of her own medicine. If these Democrats were standing on any type of principles, they should have been opposed to the Democrats removing Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar, right? If they was opposed to that, if they would have stood up against that, then they wouldn't be losing their committee assignments. Democrats started this, and now you got to reap what you sow. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. So, hey, it's kind of fun watching Kevin McCarthy trigger the Democrats. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.